Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. This time, we're focusing on just one source, a Japanese text all about Tempeki Kamai Shiatsu Ho.
Ah, yeah.
It's fascinating, really. We're going to unpack what it says about shiatsu,
Oh,
which, for anyone who needs a refresher, uses finger pressure on specific points to help your body heal itself.
right.
And we'll uncover some unique techniques. But
Yeah.
I think what's really exciting is how this text suggests these surprising connections between different systems in the body.
Absolutely. It goes way beyond just saying, do this technique here.
Hmm.
It's like a window into this whole philosophy
Oh,
of
bad.
health and healing, like really woven into traditional Japanese medicine.
So, I mean, for someone who's maybe heard of shiatsu but wouldn't call themselves an expert,
Sure.
what's the core idea here?
Okay, so picture this.
Hmm.
Your body has these pathways, almost like roads, for energy flow.
Hmm.
And that energy, they call it ki, is vital to your well-being.
Okay.
The text suggests that when a practitioner uses their fingers, that pressure is actually working with that kai, helping it move more freely, almost like clearing a traffic jam in your energy system.
Okay, I like that. That's a great visual. So it's not just about like kneading out knots,
Right.
but actually addressing this energy flow. So does the text talk about specific conditions, like how they would treat certain things with this approach?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It covers a huge range. We're talking everything from digestion
Oh.
to breathing problems
Oh.
to even stuff you might not expect.
Okay, like what?
Well, we'll get into that.
Okay.
But the coolest part is how it dives deep into how different body parts relate to each other.
Can you give us an example, like say with digestion? How would they approach that?
Sure. One thing that really stood out to me was constipation.
Okay.
Here in the West, we often just grab laxatives.
Yeah.
But this text, it's all about stimulating those intestinal muscles directly.
Interesting.
Like, let's get those muscles working better so things move naturally.
It's so interesting how different cultures approach these things.
Right. It really is.
What about respiratory issues? What do they say about that?
So they do discuss techniques for things like asthma, bronchitis,
Yeah.
but what's fascinating is the way they link it to circulation. They seem to believe that better circulation
Hmm.
is key to better breathing capacity.
Makes sense.
There's even a section on stimulating the phrenic nerve
Hmm.
to alleviate asthma symptoms.
Ellen, phrenic nerve. What was that
What?
again?
Oh, right. So the phrenic nerve, it plays a crucial role in breathing.
Okay.
It basically sends signals to your diaphragm,
Okay.
the muscle that controls your breath.
Right.
And what's remarkable is they pinpoint that nerve as a target for treatment.
Hmm.
It really shows you their deep understanding of how the body connects.
So by working on that one nerve,
Right.
they're influencing the whole breathing process. That's pretty precise. What other systems do they connect to shiatsu?
Well, they really emphasize the link between the circulatory system and the nervous system.
Okay.
You know how when you're stressed, your heart races, your breathing gets all shallow?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's your nervous system going into overdrive.
Yeah.
And it directly affects your blood flow. They kind of see these two systems as partners dancing.
I see.
And shiatsu is like a way to keep that dance smooth and harmonious.
So it's like they're acknowledging that stress. It's not all in your head, right?
Exactly.
It has this physical effect on your body. And shiatsu could help with that.
That's the idea. By working with those specific points, practitioners can influence blood flow and nerve function to calm that stress response.
It's making me think about the mind-body connection in a whole new way. Does the text ever talk about using shiatsu for like mental or emotional stuff too?
Actually, it does. And this is where it gets really interesting.
Mental and emotional stuff, huh? Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me more.
Well, it's not like they have a whole section on how to cure depression or anything.
Right.
But it's cool how they kind of weave this idea of mental and emotional balance
Yeah.
throughout the whole text. It's like they understand that physical health
Mm.
and what's going on in your mind, they're totally connected.
Oh, yeah. When I'm stressed, I can definitely feel it, like in my shoulders.
Right.
Does the text give any specific examples of how they'd actually use shiatsu for this kind of thing?
Well, they mentioned anxiety a couple of times.
Okay.
And it seems like they think that if you use shiatsu to calm the nervous system,
Yeah.
you can also like ease anxiety. It's almost like some of that anxious energy gets stuck in your body. And shiatsu can help it move again.
It's like untying those mental knots, but physically? Do they say anything about, like, what points they'd focus on?
They don't get super specific about that.
Okay.
But there's this whole thing about the practitioner's intention.
What do you mean?
Basically, they believe that the practitioner's state of mind
Oh, interesting.
actually matters. It's like their energy can influence the person receiving the shiatsu.
Whoa, so it's not just a physical thing, like it's
Right.
like a transfer of energy.
Exactly. They seem to think a skilled practitioner is like super tuned in,
Yeah.
not just to the physical body, but to the subtle energy, underneath.
It's like they're working on multiple levels at the same time.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Okay, so it's more than just pressing on points. There's this whole other layer of like awareness, intention. It makes me think of when I've had massages and I felt so much better afterwards.
Yeah.
Not just physically, but like mentally and emotionally too. Maybe it's not just the massage itself,
Right.
but the person giving it.
That's a really interesting connection. It shows how this text challenges us
Yeah.
to think about healing in a totally different way. It's not just about fixing one problem. It's about restoring balance to the whole system.
Okay, so we've talked about digestion, breathing, anxiety. What other like unexpected things does the text mention using shiatsu for?
Remember how I said this text is wide-ranging?
Yeah.
Well, get this. They even mention using it for hiccups.
Wait, hiccups? Really? That's super specific.
Right, but think about it. Hiccups are just spasms in the diaphragm.
Right, the breathing muscle.
Exactly. So maybe they're using shiatsu to target the diaphragm,
I see.
to try and calm those spasms down.
So again, they're thinking about the whole system,
Exactly.
not just isolated parts.
It shows how much knowledge is packed into this one little text.
I know, it could go on for hours, but I am curious, what other conditions do they mention?
Well, besides the hiccups, they also talk about using shiatsu to strengthen the lumbar region.
On the lower back?
Yeah, to prevent back pain.
Yeah.
They even talk about techniques for, like, fatigue and insomnia.
So not just treating pain or illness,
Right.
but using it to boost energy and improve sleep? That's fascinating.
I'm starting to think shiatsu can do, like, pretty much anything.
Maybe not everything,
Okay.
but it definitely has a much broader application than most people think. And this brings us to one of the coolest things about this text.
Okay. What's that?
The emphasis on preventative care.
You mean, like, using shiatsu to stay healthy even if you're not sick? Exactly. It's taking care of your body and your energy system so you avoid problems in the first place.
Like, don't wait for your car to break down. Get those tune-ups. I love that. What kind of things does the text recommend for that using shiatsu?
Well, remember how we were talking about the connection between the circulatory and nervous systems?
Yeah.
They seem to think keeping those in balance
Mm-hmm.
is, like, essential for overall health.
Okay.
So they suggest these shiatsu techniques that specifically target those systems. Improve blood flow, calm the nerves, just make sure everything is running smoothly.
It's interesting how they keep bringing it back to those systems.
Yeah.
Shows you how important they are. What else does the text say about preventative care?
Well, besides working with those core systems, they also talk about addressing specific areas that are, like, prone to weakness or imbalance.
Like the lower back, you're saying?
Exactly. They've identified these areas where people tend to have problems, and they've developed shiatsu techniques to, like, proactively address them.
I'm curious, what other areas do they focus on?
They mentioned a bunch of techniques,
Yeah.
but one that stood out was their approach to the digestive system.
Okay.
They don't just focus on specific points. They also have dietary recommendations and mindful eating habits.
Ooh, the diet connection. Always love that. What kind of dietary advice do they give?
It's not a specific meal plan or anything,
Okay.
but they really stress the importance of chewing your food well and eating slowly. They seem to believe that helps with the breakdown of food and supports good digestion.
Makes sense. We're always rushing, just gobbling our food down.
I know, right?
Maybe if we slow down, it could make a big difference.
It all ties back to that mind-body connection again. By being more present when we eat, we support our physical digestion,
Right.
but we're also fostering, like, a sense of calm and balance.
I'm really starting to see how all these pieces fit together. It's like shiatsu is more than just a physical therapy. It's like a whole philosophy of living.
It is. And it's rooted in this wisdom of traditional Japanese medicine.
It's so fascinating. It's making me want to learn more, maybe even try shiatsu myself.
I think that's great.
What else is in this text?
One thing that really jumped out at me as we were going through these excerpts was,
So what was it? What jumped out at you from those excerpts?
well, it was this section on shiatsu techniques for, like, a whole bunch of different conditions. So
Okay.
we talked about hiccups, we talked about anxiety, but there's more. There are techniques for things like fatigue and insomnia, and even, get this, hair loss.
Hair loss. You're kidding. Shiatsu can help with hair loss.
I know, right? It's wild.
Yeah.
And while the text doesn't lay out every single technique, you can tell this style of shiatsu is really comprehensive.
Yeah.
It's not just about being free from illness. It's about helping people really thrive in every part of their lives.
It goes back to that preventative care idea we talked about. Like, don't just wait for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
Use shiatsu to build up your vitality. Be more resilient.
It really makes you wonder what else we could find.
Yeah.
If we dug even deeper into this ancient practice.
I'm starting to see shiatsu as this toolbox, you know?
Okay.
Filled with all these techniques and approaches.
Yeah.
Each one designed for something specific. It's like they've figured out how to fine-tune the human body.
That's a great way to put it.
And it just highlights how much we can learn from these older traditions.
It's a different way of looking at the body.
Yeah.
Not as separate parts, but as this one big system that needs to be balanced.
So after this deep dive into Tempeki Kamai Shiatsu Ho, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from it?
I think the biggest takeaway is that your body has this amazing power to heal itself. And this text makes it seem like shiatsu is all about tapping into that, guiding the body back to balance and harmony.
It's like a reminder that well-being isn't just about treating symptoms, right?
Absolutely.
It's about taking care of our bodies, understanding their energy, and helping them heal naturally.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And even though we focused on just one style of shiatsu today, I think those main ideas, they apply to so many other things, whether it's movement, nutrition, even mindfulness. The important thing is to find what works for you.
Yeah.
And to really be curious about your own health.
This deep dive has definitely made me want to learn more about shiatsu.
Oh, that's good.
Maybe even try it out myself.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always good to step outside your comfort zone.
Right.
And see what's out there.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
On this deep dive into Tempeki Kamai Shiatsu Ho.
It's been fun.
We hope you found it as fascinating as we did. And remember, your body is amazing.
It really is.
With so much potential for healing and vitality. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.